Okay, so the next project I have for you guys is an old telephone table. I picked this one up for $20. So I've just started by removing the drawer and the seat. Now we are going to reupholster the seat a bit later. It's really easy to take off. Most of these tables I find they just screwed in either in the corners. This one was just screwed in through the center. And you can reach them just by going underneath your piece, finding the appropriate screws and unscrewing them. So we'll leave that for now. And the first thing I need to do before we get painting is give this a thorough clean and decide what color we're going to go with. And when I was flipping this over to take the seat off, this whole piece came off. So we're just going to have to re-glue that. Nothing is actually broken and it's just got some dowels. So I'm going to glue that. I'm using a rubber mallet to push it in nice and strong, and she'll be good as new. So to reattach the top, I am just using some Patex Fix Nail Power Total Construction Adhesive. You can use some of their liquid nails as well, which I've got there, but it's all used up, so I'm going to just use this one. So I'm just going to pop some glue into the holes and bang it back in place. I'm just putting on my primer. As you can see, it is quite streaky. Don't worry about that, that's just your undercoat. You're never going to see it, and it is just to prep your piece so that we can get the paint sticking on good and looking good as well. Alright, so I've got everything primed and ready to go. So now we just have to wait for it to dry. Okay, so it's all dry, just the first coat, so you can see all my brush marks, which is fine. I'm going to do a little bit of blending. So for my first colour, I am using Merlot Brown and the Canterbury Blue. And that's going to sort of create the dark shadows and dark edges where I want them. And then I'm just going to go back over it and blend in my original colour, which is just a sample pot. It's actually not a colour, it's just a mist tint, so I can't tell you, but that's what it looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So when you're blending, you're going to want 2 brushes, or however many colours you have, 1 brush for each one, and some sort of a spray bottle so that you can keep the paint wet, because that's how you get that nice, smooth, effortless blend, by keeping it wet. I do also like to usually have a 3rd brush. I just don't have one today to blend it in, but that's okay. I only just want a very slight blend, so I'm just going to use the brown where I want the edges and dark to show through and go fully over it with my main colour. So you just want to go section at a time. So I'm just putting the brown where I want it to sort of accent the edges, and then I'm going to go over it with my main colour. So don't worry at this stage if it looks blotchy and wrong like it kind of does now. We are going to smoothly blend that all in, and it will only be a subtle transfer, okay? So you can see now I'm slowly blending that brown in, and it's a bit more of a subtle change. Okay, and you just keep mixing the two and blending until you are happy with what you see. Okay, so I finished my blending now, and I'm just going to wait and let it dry and see what it looks like, because it does look pretty patchy when you're sort of doing it and you're midway through and you don't know if you love it or not. Once you dry, you will see that blend really come together, and then from there you can decide if you need to do more or take away some. Okay, so just gonna let that dry and see what it looks like. So now I'm going to go over the whole piece with a coat of Cabot's Clear. It is all ready to go, so just stir it up with a stick. Any brush is fine. I like to use the sponge brushes. Just grab that for you. One of these little guys, I find them really easy to use. So I'll go ahead and do that to the whole piece now. I'm going to go ahead now and clear coat the whole piece. I'm just using the Cabot's Clear. I'm just going to go one coat all over, And then a couple of extra coats on the high wear areas, which will be that top space there. I'm going to use some of this white gold metallic wax. That's the company right there. I just bought this online. I'm going to just try it first of all on the little knob that goes on the drawer, and just to see sort of what it looks like, and then I might add a little bit of detail to the edges and corners of the piece once it's all dry. So I've applied the white gold. I'm just trying to get a close up here for you. So you can see it's got a beautiful sheen to it. Just spin it around there for you so you can see. But yeah, it's come up really nicely. I'm very happy with that. I just used a really stiff bristled brush to apply it. I did start using my fingers, but that didn't work too well, so yeah, looking pretty good. So I'm just going to add a little bit of highlighting using this gold wax and just using my hard bristled brush. I'm just going around the edges of the piece here, and you can see that it's just coming up beautifully. So I'm really just mainly highlighting the edges and the little corner pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to go around now, see how it looks, and then see if I need to add or remove anything. Now if you find you've put a little bit too much wax in some areas, just grab some just natural furniture wax, just whatever you normally use, and an old rag, and just rub it over the area that you want to remove, and it will come off really easily. So I want to accent the sides of the drawer, so I'm just using this palm stencil by Colorbox because that will match my upholstery, and I've just pressed it onto the sides, and using the same brush I have just put the stencil on the side and lightly brushed in these beautiful palms. So the drawer is looking lovely. I have gone ahead and done both sides, so I'm just going to let that set. I will do a seal over the top of that just to make sure it stays as it is. But look at that, doesn't that look pretty?